fire at Penlay nuclear reactor in northern France. It says fire crews have rushed to nuclear reactor in northern France after an escape of smoke, but energy company EDF said the site is secure. Anyway, the reactor was shut down after the alarm was raised at 12:20. So basically, I think currently by my clock, it is 2:14 GMT. So it's about 2 hours later. Big thank you to the poster that sent me the info on this. So it says nobody was hurt, thankfully, and no consequences for the environment. I think that would be the ICRP version. If they shut it down, one presumes they're going to have to do a release. Anyway, there's a nice picture of the Pendy site, and I'll also put the link to this article down as well. Reactor's been stopped, so one would think there's going to be a release, so they can't just leave it in there. So basically, if it's going to be heading out for the early morning between 2 o'clock and I would say probably 5 or 6 in the morning, the winds are going to be heading to the southwest, kind of the west, well, probably Paris to be honest, but or slightly to the west of Paris. But the whole area there is at kind of risk of some emission of some sort. It may not be catastrophic, obviously, one would think. It's probably going to be a normal release like we're getting from all these other reactors, but there will certainly be metals and radionuclides and all sorts of things within that cloud, and the pollution is quite bad in Europe at the moment, certainly from a nuclear power point of view. Anyway, so I just thought I'd take you there so you can see Dieppe on the top in the middle there, and you go down to the right slightly going southwest and you can see Paris. Okay, so if I just take you over here, I just wanted to zoom in a little bit, and this will be Saturday, so 2 o'clock in the morning now. You can see it's 7 mile an hour winds. You can kind of work out how long that might take. This gusts up to 13 miles an hour though, and that's up until about 6 in the morning. By 8 in the morning, hopefully it starts heading north, sort of south directly. Of course, that whole area is an issue, and then either north, and then it starts heading northeast a little bit, then north west. So, southwest, I should say. So basically, that's sort of that whole northern part of France, slightly at risk. So there's the Sunday. I'll just scroll down and just show you the Sunday. And then Sunday, if there's any release, then it's going to be heading directly west, and even heading east, and even it'll be heading sort of kind of northeast as well. So that's something to watch out for. And then Monday, very strong, heading up to the northeast. Yep, that's not good. Oh dear. Alright, okay, we get the idea. So from Dieppe, basically, we're going to be seeing a northeasterly, which is kind of bringing it up towards Belgium, the Netherlands. Depending on the wind, which way it goes, it could even sort of hit UK. And looks like if the winds are heading up that way, it might even be going to Norway, southern or northern Norway. We'll find out when the weather charts sort of catch up with this. But there's some evidence that we're going to have a switch round in the wind on Monday. So that's that really. Well, it's going to happen on Sunday. It's going to head west on Sunday. Now I've been getting sort of sporadically high rises on occasion that I've imagined to be sort of small clouds of pollution, but where from? Now we had something coming from Hinckley, and we had something coming from Sizewell. We think we've had something from Albury as well, and we know we've had a high pressure spot over the UK, which has kept all this pollution kind of in one place. But what's happened over the last sort of 24 hours, as far as I can work out, the winds have changed. They're now sort of going southeasterly in the south coast, but as you can see there, the further north you go, they tend to start heading east. There's an unfortunate circular pattern which pulls the wind down that way, and so therefore anything in Sizewell is going to hit London. And I've got some measurements that kind of show that. I haven't gone to town on it. They're not that bad. There is peaks. I have last night I got 0.48, which I got when the wind was last coming from Sizewell, and I just thought I'd take you there anyway. So basically, as you can see, further north you go, you get strong winds, and they're all kind of heading to the west. Go over here for a moment and zoom out a tad. You can sort of see the bigger picture there. So there's the wind pattern coming into Europe, and this is the wind pattern that circulates here, comes down here, and if you're Spanish or in North Africa, that's probably in heavy precipitation with rain and what have you, and a lot of the air that's gone through, a lot of the pollution that's picked up, and the reason why we're getting sort of lower a lower range on my Geiger counter at the moment is because all the pollution is in that cloud, and it's going to fall and bioaccumulate on Europe's food garden, which is Spain, south of Spain. That's where we get all our food. All that water will be feeding the greenhouses of Spain. So France, yep, it looks like anything that's going to be coming out of Cattenom is just going to be heading southeast by the look of it, as far as I can make out on this very bad map here. And we have a similar wind pattern, or did have, coming from Czechoslovakia, hitting Switzerland, and obviously Switzerland probably be getting hit from Cattenom as well, depending on the local wind pattern. So as a heads up there. Norway getting some really clean air, and they've got snow on and off, so basically that's kind of good. But interesting enough, as it comes down to the more polluted section, it swings off to the right, and now it may be polluted, and it's kind of heading towards Oslo, which always gets kind of high values on the maps that I showed you, the rad maps on the radnet. So there you go, that's that. And I'm just going to very quickly take you to an article which is talking about Sizewell being, well, actually there is, Sizewell is being switched off at the moment, so that is why we're getting these emissions. And I'm going to post an article under the video which you can have a read of to find out some issues to do with the increased emissions from Sizewell. Obviously it's getting old, it's getting knackered. Okay, a bit of an old article this, but sort of kind of on topic, not too long ago. So radiation emissions from Sizewell B being studied. So there's members of a liaison group. I'll post a cut and paste just to give you a taste of it. And it says things like EDF and leukemia around Germany and France reactors and what have you. But there's a lovely picture of a nasty beastie. And that's what's polluting London currently. With us, I think because of the switch off in the UK, I think there's been more than one reactor being letting off. So just a general heads up to anybody downwind of any of the reactors in the UK that are running at the moment, because I think that the UK are taking advantage of it. Fair enough, you know, so I would, and it's great to see the pollution not hanging around, but unfortunately some of it still is. We still got this high pressure spot, and it's a real blow really to getting rid of the nuclear sort of isotopes. But
I I've been asked to ask you this, and I think you may be already given the answer, but I'd like you to give it again. Can the ICRP model be used by governments to predict the consequences of a nuclear accident in terms of the cancer yield?
I think basically no, because the uncertainties are too large. Now I think the uncertainties we are talking about would be in the order of magnitude, and I think
it's probably the biggest public health risk after smoking. In the UK, something between 30 and 50,000 people a year are dying early just due to poor air quality, and that's totally unacceptable in the 21st century. About half of the health impact from indoor air quality actually is outside air, so it's the outside air infiltrating into buildings. It's then made worse by sources within the building, like through cooking, emissions from building materials, and so on. So indoor air quality for some pollutants can be much worse than outdoor air quality, and there are no legal requirements to address it. What will be very important with the Year of Air, the European Commission's Year of Air, is coming up with a regime recommendations in 2013 which provide continuity of the legal framework, but also the further tightening of public health and legal protections for people.
Regarding products, there should be definitely harmonization, and we would like to see not necessarily legislation, but for example, European labeling scheme for construction products from this perspective, from indoor air quality perspective, so that people know what they are using and choosing. People are aware that it's an important issue. And second is, especially on outdoor air quality, there is in many countries in the EU, there is already a so-called quality of the air forecast, so that people know how to be prepared. Sometimes they even need to step up their medication. And there are alternative products on the market that can be used, that you are not harming yourself. But the remaining thing, the big thing that remains is that there is no priority for this issue, and we don't have a proper strategy that is tackling indoor air quality.
How long must we sing this song? I'm going to go off on the IAEA today, the NRC, and how they've broken our sacred trust. Not only just broken a handshake deal on a sacred trust, that's what everybody thinks it is. They say, oh no, these are legal binding contracts, legal congressional contracts in the NRC. Worldwide contract, and you people in Europe are going to have to step up, because this ignorant fucking debating society, far left fucking latte drinking, tomato eating fucking debating pussies ain't going to do nothing.